Good morning. So I've been whipping up a storm in the kitchen here. I wanted to try a couple of little cooking projects. So last night I decided I was going to make some homemade biscuits. Last week I made my first attempt at homemade Melba sauce, which is a very upstate New York thing. But I have a couple of coworkers that we do family brunch at work, and we rotate who makes breakfast every Sunday. So last week was my breakfast Sunday. So I made Monte Cristo sandwiches, and I thought, well, what better way to introduce them to upstate New York Melba sauce? So I made my attempt at Melba sauce because I was working with what I was working with, but it turned out really good. So this week I've decided I have blueberries, so I'm gonna do like a blueberry compote version of Melba. So I made a homemade blueberry compote spread and homemade biscuits, and I think they turned out excellent. I made a little jar of blueberry compote, and I'm very excited to try it. But more importantly, look at these biscuits. So in fairness, I didn't roll them out on a floured surface. I just sort of hand formed them into biscuit shapes. We used manual labor. But anyway, so for the blueberry, I have a bag of frozen blueberries, and I don't measure anything. I just kind of wing it. Here in this kitchen, we're on Chopped every day, okay? But I also wanted to get a little bit funky with it. I used lime juice, and I'm actually impressed with how this turned out. Also used some cinnamon. I put in some date syrup as my both sweetening and thickening agent, because I did not want to use white sugar. I never use white sugar if I don't have to. But then I also, at the very end, I simmered it down with a star anise. So there's a little hint of that like autumnal, and I don't even like licorice, but there was something in my brain that said you should throw a little star anise in here at the end and just give it a little hint of something else. It's delightful. I tried it last night. Did not try my biscuit yet, so we're gonna do it. We're just gonna break off a little piece. I love biscuits so much. These are very buttery, but it's like a good balance. It's not too salty. So here's the other thing. I think I fucked up my measurements because I was so excited about making biscuits. It called for 2 cups of flour. Somehow I have managed to lose the rest of my collection of measuring cups other than the 1/3 and the 1/4 cup. So I was using the 1/3 cup, and I forgot whether I was on number 5 or number 6. So I just threw one more in there. And then as I was kind of stirring my dry ingredients together, I was like, I think that's only 5. So I threw another one in there. And then I thought, I'm pretty sure that's 7. So I went back in and I added a little bit of all of the other ingredients. I think I was right. I think I added an extra 1/3 of a cup of flour that didn't need to be in there, because this tastes pretty balanced. It doesn't taste over floury. It tastes like there's the right amount of butter in there. It doesn't taste too salty. It doesn't taste like baking powder, baking soda. I'm pleased. I also currently have baked apples in the oven. That is my brunchy contribution today. So we're gonna have some chicken sausages, which I cannot take credit for because, yep, bought those at Aldi too because they're delicious. Started making baked apples a long time ago because I thought I like apples and I like eggs, and why not put them together and see how it goes? And so that became a thing that I was doing for a long time. So you core out the apple, crack an egg in it, throw a little bit of breakfast meat in there if you want to make it a little more savory, throw some veggies in there, and voila, you have like a little breakfast casserole inside of an apple. And so you get sweet and savory. It's delightful. It does take a little bit of work, but we're doing it. I had some time this morning to kind of figure out what I wanted to play with in the fridge, and I didn't get too crazy with it because we're gonna do the chicken sausages separately, so I had to kind of figure out how to zhuzh up my apples. So gala apples with eggs, and I kept the egg whole. I didn't do a scramble today. Instead, I just sort of seasoned the apple with ground ginger, paprika, a little bit of fennel seed, cinnamon, a little bit of salt, a little like pink Himalayan salt, ground sage. That might have been it. Yeah. So I went a little little more savory on the seasoning. A little bit like Thanksgiving-y, but I love fennel, which is weird again because I don't like licorice, but I love fennel, especially pickled fennel. Yum. So I put this seasoning on the inside of the apple, threw a little bit of butter in the bottom. I made 7 apples. So for 4 of them, I put a couple of little chopped up pieces of asparagus on the inside and then cracked an egg on the inside, and we're baking. They're looking pretty good. I don't know how long I have left on my timer, but I put them in there for 30 minutes on... Actually, I never turned my temperature down, but it's on 425. That's probably too high, but I need these apples to cook through too, because that's one thing that I have always run into issues with before when I tried to make them. I didn't cook them long enough, so the inside of the apple was still crunchy. I don't want them mushy, but I don't want them to be like biting into an apple, and then the egg is, you know, runny. Ooh, those smell good. I also might bring a little bit of hot honey. I feel like that's a nice little addition on top, like a little spicy. A little sweet and spicy on top, you know? Also, clearly, probably thinking about food or serial killers. In case anybody was wondering, that's me. But that's it. Yep, so we're doing homemade biscuits, blueberry compote spread, cutting up a watermelon, baked apples, we're doing chicken sausage, and I think that completes the meal. So, here goes nothing. Okay, have a great day. Stay... Look at that. Look at that timing. Apples are done. I still have time to get ready for work and be on time. Thanks for following my cooking adventures. Okay, love you, bye. Stay hydrated, stay elevated, stay you.